This is an AVNation ISE special. My name is Tom Albright. I am your host. What we're doing is we're previewing ISE 2019 Integrated Systems Europe 2019 comes your way February 5th through the 8th. And with us to talk about everything that AVIXA is bringing to Amsterdam, his name is Dan Goldstein, and he is from AVIXA. Welcome, sir.
Hello, Tim. How are you?
I am well. You guys are in your main stand is Hall 12. Hall 12 in is in Nancy 110. Actually, if you remember from last year, it's kind of in the center of a number of different halls. So if I'm going to Amsterdam, I'm going to ISE, and I enter that general vicinity of Hall 12. What am I going to find when I hit the AVIXA stand?
What you'll do, Tim, is you'll probably you'll come up the escalators from the entrance that's on that side of the Rye complex. Most likely, that's what most people do. Some people come to us from on the level or from one of the other halls. Whichever way you come to us, actually, you'll find, you might think on first blush that the stand is a little bit underwhelming, actually, compared with this year, compared with 2018. You might recall, those of your listeners and viewers who were at the show, we had a big double-decker. It was the first time that we had the AVIXA brand at ISE, and so we wanted to make a big splash with this big double-decker stand, a lot of cool AV, nice private VIP area upstairs, all very lovely. Everybody loved it, made a big impact. We got a lot of new members, a lot of interest in membership from that stand, and it was a great brand presence for us. However, unfortunately, the fire marshal, the local fire marshal in Amsterdam, wasn't too happy with the amount of traffic that was around our stand, purely from a safety perspective. And so we've had to reduce the footprint of the stand for 19, and that has precluded us from adding that second deck on top. It wouldn't be structurally the right thing to do. Not really my area of expertise, but I'm told it. I don't think it would fall down or anything, but it's just not really a practical thing to do. So we've just got the single level stand this year, but as in previous years, it's going to be a great place to network. It's going to be a great place to meet with your local AVIXA rep. And I think the really nice thing for me about the way we do ISE now, I think this year, 2018, was the first time that we had staff on our stand at ISE who were native speakers of English. I'm going to hopefully get these not necessarily in the right order, but I'm hopefully not going to miss anything out. English, German, Dutch, Spanish, and Italian.
Really?
And that, I think it was the first time that we had all those languages covered. French, I think, the only main European language that we don't have. So, we've made a big investment in local, regional reps in Europe, and of course that makes a big difference to the value that we can bring to membership in Europe, and so that's a really nice thing for us, I think, to be able to do. There's going to be lounge areas. It's not a place where we deliver education. As you might recall, we have a separate flash track stand where we do education, but it's really the kind of networking hub for us at the show. It's where we have our member meetings. It's where we talk to potential members and talk to them about the value they can get from joining the association. And we're really excited to be back at ISE, which of course, as you know, we helped to found back in 2004, and which we still own 50% of.
Well, that was the thing is you guys are 50% owners. That stand is not the only place that folks can find AVIXA. So where else in the Rye and where else around Amsterdam can they connect with somebody from AVIXA?
So I think it's probably the third or fourth year that we've been doing this. We have our flash track stand, which is number 13. The stand is, our main stand is 12N100, and then the flash track stand is 13N100. It's right across the way there. You can't miss it. That's where we're doing our kind of free 20-minute education sessions. We are also in, for the first time this year, a training room, or conference room, I should say, that is very accessible from the show floor. It's on the same level as the show floor. I think the RAI number of the room, I think, is E103. No one's really going to remember that. But when you get on site, it's a really easy room to find, much easier to find than the rooms that we were in previously up above the Elysium Hall, which you had to kind of get an escalator or get in a lift or whatever, and it was difficult to. So there's going to be, I think we're going to benefit from having a lot more visibility of our conference tracks, and we're running 2 half-day conferences from that room, one for corporate AV and one for higher ed AV. But that's not the only place where we're contributing to ISE's content. There's actually going to be AVIXA data and AVIXA insight at a number of the other conferences, and this is a first for us, where we're making a really significant programmatic contribution to some of the events that ISE is putting on, like the Smart Building Conference, for example, which is on the day before the show starts on the Monday. We're also contributing data and insights to Agora, which is the new sports industry conference that they've got going on. And there's also a hospitality industry conference that they're doing in conjunction with the HTNG group that we're also contributing to. So it's exciting for us. I think we've got more visibility to what we're doing, purely as AVIXA and working with partner groups, and then we're also contributing more to the ISE content program, which itself is broadening in scope and in ambition.
But that also kind of plays well in line with what you guys have been doing since the name change from InfoComm to AVIXA, and that is reaching out to these various other industries and saying, see what, let us show you what the audiovisual industry can do.
Absolutely.
Doing that for the last year and a half, and those little kind of side and additional conferences that speaks to those industries really kind of plays in what you guys have been doing.
Yeah, absolutely, Tim. It shouldn't be a one-way street, right? It's not just about us going to these vertical markets of end users and telling them about the value of investing in AV products and services. We also get feedback from them, from those groups, about what's driving them, what are they trying to achieve. If you work in a corporate environment, or you work for a retailer, or you work for a hotel chain or a sports facility, what are the things that you're trying to accomplish, and what could AV do better, to help you in your job and help your company? And that's part of what we're delivering at these conferences at ISE. We have a whole new series, which I think you may have referenced in other editions of the show, but a series of market research reports which we call MORE, which is MOAR. It stands for Market Opportunity and Analysis Report. And we're basically slicing the AV, the marketplace for AV into different vertical components. So there's a MORE report for higher ed, there's a MORE report for hospitality, a MORE report for sports arenas, and so on. And for the first time, we've kind of dabbled with that a little bit in the past with our market research, but this is the first time that we've produced market research reports which are really not just informed by what the channel is doing, not just informed by the supply side, like how many microphones are we shipping into corporate AV, or it's how are those microphones being used, and what are the trends in how those environments are being designed, and how they're being spec'd out and budgeted, and what business objectives are they helping people to accomplish. And then all that information we bring back into the MORE reports, which are part of our market intelligence offering, and then we share some of that high level, obviously, because when you're these are quite big reports, and so when someone like my colleague Sean Wago, is our head of market intelligence, when he's up on a stage delivering a 20-minute presentation, he's only going to give highlights. But in all honesty, I think that's appropriate. That's kind of what we were doing at our AV Executive Conference earlier this year. Is giving people a few highlights, a few takeaways. Hopefully, that gives them gives the ISE audience a bit of inspiration, some thought-provoking ideas, And then obviously, if they want to take it further, they can talk to us about purchasing one or more of those reports.
Absolutely. All right, folks. If not everybody is going to ISE, though some years it feels like the entire AV industry globally.
Yeah, have you seen the cost of flights? It's terrifying.
yes, and the entryways that are getting in there, but it's a great show. But again, not everybody goes to it. So if somebody's not going, but they want to follow along with everything that AVIXA is doing, how do they do that, sir?
We will be very active on social media as we always are, and there'll be updates on our website on avixa.org. And then one other new thing that we're going to be doing, and we've never kind of done this before, so it's a little bit of an experiment. Is we're actually taking those conferences that we're putting on and the ones that we're contributing to, having a writer in that room, and then distilling everything down into articles, whether that's a trend report of some kind or a blog, or we're still kind of figure out exactly what it's going to look like. Yeah. But that's actually going to inform our online content offering next year as well. So trying to join the dots a little bit, having our in-person content delivery, which, as you say, not everyone can attend. Even people who are at ISE for the show, tend to be very, very busy. It's a huge show, so not everyone who wants to come to our events and benefit from our thought leadership actually has the bandwidth to do so. So if you don't have that opportunity, what you will be able to have access to, and I think is worth looking out for, is a whole series of online thought leadership pieces, which we'll be publishing over the first quarter, probably during February, March, or maybe through the end of April. And by the end of April, I would think we probably will have published it all.
All right, just in time to get everything caught up right before InfoComm.
Yes, that's right. Before the next wave of craziness hits us. Yes,
the next wave. So, all right, very good. Dan Goldstein, you guys are in Hall 12, in as in Nancy, Hall 12 in 110. Thank you so much for your time. You can find out more information about us or follow along as we also head to Amsterdam for ISE 2019. Go by the website, avnation.tv. That's avnation.tv.